Hello guys, this is Negacious. Welcome back to some more Katawa Shoujo. In the last episode we actually wrapped up Act 1 and it ended up in a cool cutscene with me and Emi running on the track, starting our routine in order to get me in shape. And yeah, we're in Act 2 with all new tricks and treats coming our way, so I can't wait to see what this new act has in store for me, because Act 1 was incredibly good. It was already freaking amazing, so I can't even gather on what Act 2 could have in store. But regardless, literally one screen ago we started Act 2, and we are now going to start. Let's get going. My alarm's beeping shatters the early morning quiet, and I find myself wondering where to find the motivation to rise. Still, I'm wondering if this is at 5 AM, because right now we're going to go for a morning run with Emi. Class is still quite far off, but I agreed to run with Emi in the mornings. Really, I'm not that interested in running as a hobby, or even as a possible life-lengthening exercise. However, I feel obligated to follow through on my promise to Emi yesterday, which is why I find myself throwing on some running shorts and a light t-shirt. The cool morning air caresses my face as the morning sunshine causes the dew on the grass to sparkle, nearly blinding me at first. As I make my way down to the track, an ugly thought strikes me. What if this is some sort of a joke that Emi's playing on me? Would that surprise me, really? Hell, I'd probably do it to the new guy too. At the very least, I'm sure Emi and Rin have made a bet on whether or not I'd actually show up. I feel a sense of trepidation as the track comes into view. You're late! It would seem that Emi's already here. There, what a relief. Not according to my watch, we're both early in fact. Damn, you got me there. Emi's sitting on the bleachers, decked out in her running gear, waiting somewhat patiently for me. I'm glad you're actually here. I was afraid this was a joke or something. Nah, I'd never make someone get up that early for nothing. Plus, Rin owes me 500 yen now. She didn't think you'd actually show up. There you go, they had the bet. I knew it. Nice to know Emi was on my side at least. Emi hops off of the bleachers and begins stretching out. She's remarkably lithe, almost like a dancer. I set out to stretch as well, but then realized that I don't exactly remember how to stretch properly. It's been ages since I stretched for anything, if you don't count my one stint at the running last week. And even then, I don't actually think I stretched beforehand. The spectre of my long hospital stay rises up again. I can't say I was all that active before the hospital stay though, so maybe I'm just being morose. Emi giggles as she watches me stretch out. No, Hisao, you've got to hold it for longer than that. I'm trying, it kinda hurts a little. Ha! That's because you're out of shape. You've got to get some flexibility in you like this. What? To demonstrate, Emi reaches down and puts her head through her legs. That sounds really... not sounds, but jeez. That looked kinda hilarious when the sprite just kinda dropped below the screen. God bless you, Emi. I see, so is that the sort of thing I should strive for? Of course! Flexibility is important for any runner. You'll be able to go faster the more you stretch out. That makes no sense to me, but Emi seems to believe it's true. With Emi's help, I managed to stretch myself out properly. I can't help but notice when she thinks about how to explain things to me, her mouth scrunches up for concentration. It's adorable. Not bad, Hisao. Come on, we'd better start running. We'll start off with just a mile, okay? A mile? Okay. That's 4 laps around the track, got it? That sounds fine to me. This shouldn't be too hard, right? But didn't we, like, drop out after, like, 1 lap last time? A hazy memory of running a mile for gym class surfaces comes to mind. Surfaces in my mind. I'm sorry. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Emi sets a pretty good pace, and I fall in behind her. Try to keep up, okay, Hisao? Roger. We round the first curve without incident, though I can already feel my heart rate increasing slightly. By the second curve, I've started to breathe through my mouth. Emi doesn't even seem to be breaking a sweat. As if to punctuate her superiority, she turns around and starts running backwards. Oh, come on! Are you doing okay, sir? Never better. Oh really? Maybe I should speed up then, Oh no, I wouldn't want you to exert yourself. My heavy panting and wheezing makes the statement less convincing than I had hoped. Emi simply smiles and turns around again. You're the boss, Hisao. We'll stay at this pace. That's Misha again. I get the feeling that I'm being mocked. If I weren't in such a terrible shape, I'd probably feel offended. By the third lap, my breath is coming in ragged gasps. I'm also awash in my own sweat. Gross. We round the curve to start our 4th lap, and Emi looks back at me with a grin. Here we go! She takes off. I'm sorry. I'm gonna need some water. My voice for Emi keeps breaking up because of my throat. She takes off at blinding speed while I stubbornly stick to my slower pace. By the time I get to the first turn, she's already rounding the second. As I struggle across the backstretch, Emi continues running and catches up to me. Come on, Hisao, you can do it! I'd answer her, but I'm too focused on getting air into my lungs and ignoring the burning in my leg muscles. Part of me wants to say something like, maybe you can, but I'm about to die here. But again, I doubt I can actually form words right now. Emi keeps pace with me as I round the second turn and cross the finish line. Her sprint seems to have gotten her sweating. Come on now, game. It's actually caused her shirt to turn slightly translucent. It seems she wears a black sports bra. I feel a vague stab of guilt for being the sort of guy who stares at a girl's chest, but my legs and chest are burning so badly I can't bring myself to care that much. Not bad for a first effort, Hisao. Kind of you to say so. Emi seems to be, if not out of breath, at least breathing a little more heavily than she was before we started running. It must have been the sprint that did it. Hey, I've gotta get a few sprints in. You should walk around the track to cool down. Then we can stretch out and we'll be all done, okay? Sounds great. My legs are on fire and my breathing is still heavy, but surprisingly, my heart seems to be taking a strain well. Another triumph of medical science, I suppose. You should put your hands behind your head. It makes it easier to catch your breath. Wait, is that like an actual thing? Surprisingly, she's right. I begin to stroll around the track, happy to feel my breath coming back to me. The visuals. There's a blur as Emi sprints by me. Watching her run is absolutely fascinating. It's not just because she's in prosthetics, though that is interesting. The really interesting thing is the way her face changes. And it's zooming in. I can only catch glimpses of it as she runs by, but her eyes seem to come alive with a sort of fierce joy. It's as if there's nothing else in the world but her and the track. By the time I've gotten to the final stretch, Emi seems to have finished her sprinting. She's breathing heavily now, but she's wearing a satisfied grin on her face. She waves to me cheerily as I near her. Feeling better, right? Actually, yeah. do you want to take another lap around with me? I've got to cool down too, you know? Part of me would rather sit down and not move, but something tells me that would be a bad idea. Besides, if I sit down, there may be no getting back up again. Sure, why not? Emi's got her hands behind her head now as well, which makes her seem very relaxed. The positioning of her arms also pulls her shirt upwards ever so slightly, so I can see a small strip of her belly. I do my best to act the gentleman and not look, but the contrast of her skin against her red running shorts is rather arresting. So, how do you feel, Hisao? Surprisingly good, actually. I'm sore and tired, but surprisingly good. As soon as I say it, I realize that it's true. Sure, part of me wants to lay down and die, but I feel like I've accomplished something. It's almost like a glow throughout my body that persists despite the soreness. Yeah, that's the runner's high. Runner's high? Yeah, it has something to do with adrenaline? Emi thinks for a moment as we walk, trying to remember. Then she shrugs and grins at me. I don't actually remember. It's a good feeling though, isn't it? Better than sex, right? I open my mouth to respond shortly before processing what she's just said. Emi watches my face for a few moments before bursting into laughter. Sorry. What the hell? Sorry, I couldn't resist. You're just too easy. Why did I agree to run with you again? Emi just laughs harder. She takes a hold of my forearm and tilts it, allowing her to get a better view of my watch. Her face changes the moment she sees the time. Oh no! We're gonna move on, Hisao! Better than sex, huh? Class is in an hour and I need to shower. I should probably do that as well. I need to see the nurse too. Maybe he'll write me a note for being late. Why do you need to see the nurse? Emi points to her prosthetics and as if that would explain everything. It's important to check for irritation. You know, from sweat or friction or anything. Ah yeah, because they are mechanical after all. Or like man-made, so there's a good chance that they might break. Normally I only go after practice, but if we're going to do these morning runs, then I guess I'll see him twice a day. Wait, so Emi has only started doing these runs since I showed up. If it's more convenient for you to run with me in a later time... Don't be silly, I've been meaning to start running in the morning for a while now. But if I didn't have a partner to run with, it'd be less likely to keep up a routine. It's always harder to blow off a commitment if you're letting someone else down, you know? If you're going to let someone else down. So you'll be my running partner for the mornings. We both need to exercise and so it all works out, don't you think? Yeah, perfect. Did it have to be me though? Well, I guess I can't complain too much. Emi's pretty fun to hang out with. And she's right, I do need to exercise. Doctor's orders, even. Emi waves a quick goodbye to me. Right, I'm off! Come have lunch with us, okay? What? Lunch, you know, the meal in the middle of the day? Come have it with us. Where? The rooftop. I didn't like it up there. When? Lunch! Lunchtime! When else? That was a silly question. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but I sort of felt I need to ask all three for the completeness' sake. Emi laughs and grins. I don't think I've ever seen a girl smile so much before. Not bad, Hisao. See you. With that, she takes off like a shot for the school building. I guess she's going to see the nurse first. Is Kenji gonna be here again? In the shower. I hurry back to my room and hop in the shower, only to find that the water takes a while to heat up. The shock of the cold water nearly kills me. I manage to warm the water a bit and spend some quality time feeling my muscles loosen. My heart, surprisingly, feels the least bothered by the run. I suppose that's a good thing, even if it does make me feel like a bit of a wuss. Wuss, I should say. I mean, at least I'd have an excuse beyond I am out of shape if my heart were bothering me. Guess I'll have to keep this running thing up, otherwise I'm sure Amy won't let me hit the end of it. It's only after I get out and dry myself off that I realize I've only 10 minutes left to put my clothes on and get to class. Crap. Run, Hisao, run! The hands on the clock finally set me free from the tedium of yet another fun-filled class. Getting up from my seat proved to be more of a problem than I anticipated. My legs are killing me from the morning's run. Maybe doing these with Emmy isn't such a hot idea after all. Still, the run's giving me a hell of an appetite. I'm halfway down the hallway to the cafeteria when I remember that I've got my lunch with me. My parents saw fit to provide me with some pre-packaged stuff when I moved in, and a good thing too. The hallway is packed with students headed for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream, but I've got an appointment to keep on the rooftop. It takes me a moment to find the staircase leading up to the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Emmy and Rin aren't up there by now anyway. In fact, I think I saw Emmy along the bodies in the hallway headed for the cafeteria. I step out of the door to the roof and take a deep breath. The fresh air blowing against my face and body almost makes my legs hurt less. Maybe if I'm upside down. Part of me wants to be surprised that Rin's already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the clouds? Couldn't you just look at them right side up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching exasperation. Fuck. Or fudge, I'm sorry. I'm recording like a bunch of these in a day, so I don't have to panic about recording one episode and then like again the same thing the next day because my upload speed is slow. So I'm recording these a bunch a day, but my throat is just like Jesus Christ. Then I wouldn't get a new perspective. Is upside down really a new perspective? Aha, that caught her off guard. Rin looks pensive. You may have a point. Maybe sideways. What? Sideways? She actually went sideways. As Rin lays down on the bench to look at the sky, I give up. Fortunately, Emmy chooses that moment to burst through the door carrying 2 bags. She nearly takes the door off the hinges. Sorry it took me so long. There were a ton of people in line. She drops the first bag in front of Rin and takes a seat on the bench next to her. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah. I'd have Rin buy my lunch for me in return, but I'm not sure how she'd carry it. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. Wow. Now that's... Come on. If Rin's offended by Emmy's comment, she doesn't show it. Emmy sniffs. How ungrateful of you! I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another, or if I'm witnessing the beginnings of a catfight. The 2 girls stare at one another for a few tense moments before breaking into smiles. You know what, guys, I already think you know what I'm gonna say about the background right now, but... Hey, Emmy, do you think being upside down is a new perspective on things? Didn't I already have this conversation? Emmy looks thoughtful, apparently giving the question some thought. After a deep and profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. Well, at least she's as lost as I am. Hey, Hisao, you're coming to the track meet, right? The question comes out of the blue and catches me off guard. I don't know yet. Honestly, Hisao, I went through all the trouble of letting you run with me in the morning and you won't even show up at my track meet? Oh, yeah, I'll come to your meetings. Okay. Wasn't she the one that asked me to run with her? Yeah, and that too. I'm smelling some recruitment powder in the air. Actually, she didn't even give me a choice in the matter. Wait, no, I didn't say that. She beams at me as if I'd just agreed to give her $1 million. So you will come after all, that's great! I didn't say that either! I'll be going too, so I'll make sure he comes, Emmy. Good idea, Rin. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over? I feel like I've just been conned, but not by these two. More like some outside force, pushing me irrevocably towards my destiny. Or maybe I shouldn't read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily, otherwise I might wind up sounding like Kenji. Still, I suppose that I've got to show up now. I don't think I could stand against both of them being disappointed. I'd never hear the end of it. Plus, Emmy would be pounding and none of us want that. When is it again? Next week, silly. I just told you a few days ago. No, you didn't. I forgot? Well, you won't forget to come though, will you? Of course I won't. I'll even make a note on the calendar or something. Rin nods sagely. That's probably a good idea, you know, unless time changes its course. It can do that? The obliviousness is wonderful. Rin gives a non-committal shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. This time it's Emmy who gives a shrug. I suppose it can't be helped if it happens. Not unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't actually think that could happen, do you? I don't think we do we? Rin shrugs again. That seems to be her default response to everything. I suppose not, but I reserve the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. For Rin, this statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. The fact that I realize this now frightens me a bit. I wonder if Emmy gets this feeling all the time. If she does, she's not showing it, though Emmy merely nods. As expected. What's that supposed to mean? This time it's Emmy who shrugs. It's like she's using Rin's own weapons against her. Your response is the sort of thing I'd expect from you, that's all. Am I really that predictable? Emmy's smile seems to border on gloating. Nah, it's just... That's Rin. Nah, it's just that your unpredictability is pretty predictable. Well, that's alright then. I don't get the chance to see whether Rin's being serious or not as the bell rings. I didn't notice the lunch period slipping by at all. Hanging out with these two was far too interesting. Emmy jumps up, a look of panic on her face. Oh no! I need to stop by my room to pick up my notebook for the next class. Don't you wish you had a time machine now? Rin seems rather smug as he delivers this line, like she just won an argument. Emi ignores Rin's comment. Sorry, Hisao, but could you make sure our garbage gets thrown away? I usually clean up myself, but I've got to run. Sure, no problem. Emi darts away with an urgency I'm starting to expect from her. I don't bother asking Rin why she couldn't help. She already seems to be preoccupied with something else entirely as she wanders off. She is probably used to Emi taking care of the cleanup, and for some reason I doubt Emi's ever raised an issue with her. Cleaning up from lunch doesn't take long, so I have plenty of time to toss our garbage and get to class. Hey, Misha and Shizune are back now. Nice. Misha greets me with a wave and a devious grin as I walk through the door. Didn't see you at the cafeteria, Hitchan! Yeah, I decided it was too crowded there. Misha's grin gets even wider. Oh really? Are you sure you weren't participating in an illicit rendezvous? What? What are you talking about? You were on the roof, right? With both Rin and Emi, no less. You Casanova, you! We just had lunch, that's all. Misha bursts into laughter, drawing the attention of several of my classmates. You're so adorable when you blush like that, Hitchan. She gives me the conspiratorial wink. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. Somehow I doubt that, Misha. There's no secret. Oh yeah, and that too. Oh? Misha seems disappointed and then brightens up again. Time will tell! I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but blessedly, our teacher comes in and the class starts. Another day of class has finally dragged itself to a close. Unexpectedly, I managed to stay awake for the whole day. I'm pretty sure that counts as a miracle. My legs seemed unwilling to stand up for a moment. I guess the run took a lot out of me. I head down the hallway and make my way to my room. I sit down and half-heartedly clip away at my homework for a while, feeling like a vulture picking at a particularly unsavory carcass. It knows that this is what it eats, but it's not sure that it shouldn't be ordering takeout instead. I don't think I can take this, but it's important to get my work done. Now, let's see, what was I supposed to be looking over again? I know it's a losing battle, but I fight it anyway. Halfway through my math homework, I put my pencil down. This isn't working, I need a distraction. Unfortunately, my options for distractions are rather slim. I'm not in the mood to go read anyway. Kenji is, unusually, out of his room at the moment. If I go to student council work, I'll just end up doing work for those two. And heaven only knows where everyone is except for... Well, I suppose there's an option. I grab my shoes and head for the track. Emi's probably down there. Track practice is just ending as I arrive at the track. The sun's beginning to dip low in the sky. Has it really gotten that late already? What are you doing down there, Hisao? Come to spy on me, have you? I give a shrug. To be honest, I'm not sure why I'm down here. I didn't have anything better to do. I figure that's about right. At the moment, Emi's the only person I can think of who I could visit. So I'm your last resort, am I? Aww. Nobody cool around, so I'll just go see Emi. Is that what you thought? She actually looks angry. A chance for some teasing of my own presents itself. Actually, yeah, I guess you are. Emi pouts, widening her eyes to give the maximum amount of puppy dog resemblance. Kidding, I was kidding! So you are down here to stalk me? Wait, what? That's not what I meant. Why would I stalk you anyway? It's not like you require stalking. If you're not asleep or in class, you're down here, right? Emi laughs at this comment. Well, you're not all wrong, I suppose, but you forgot about eating. I do that too, you know? I'm not conceding the point. Plus, I hang out with Rin sometimes too. So really, I might take some effort to stalk. What do you two do together anyway? You don't seem like you have like a lot in common. She puts her hands on her hips and assumes a superior air. That's what you think. I've got all sorts of hidden hobbies, you know? Oh really? Like what? Emi puts her head to one side as she's trying to remember what it is she does in her free time. Well, Rin and I go shopping sometimes. I guess that makes sense. Emi's a girl after all. But Rin? Rin comes with you. We usually swing by the art supply store. Plus, she likes this music store that sells all kinds of weird sounding stuff. She said it helps focus her. That makes a little more sense. I see. Any other hidden hobbies? Emi wags a finger at me. Don't take us there, game, please. Now, why would I go and reveal all my dark secrets to you? We hardly know one another. Somehow I think that's all that Emi has in the way of hobbies. Still, I don't think my question's been answered. Even if you do have a few hobbies, I still don't see why you hang out with Rin so much. I mean, she's kinda weird, isn't she? This comment causes Emi to laugh loudly. Ha! That's the understatement of the year! So why? I mean, you're a lot better at conversation and stuff, so I figure you'd hang out with a lot of people, but I think I've only ever seen you with Rin. Emi seems unusually defensive. Hey, I hang out with plenty of people that aren't Rin. You just don't see me doing it because I'm not in your classes. Okay, but that still doesn't explain why you hang out with Rin. I'm not even sure I want to know this. Why I want to know this. I guess it is because lunch was so strange. Emi shrugs, looking for a moment very Rin-ish. It's because we have similar outlooks. If you were to ask me the least likely answer to my question, that would be it. What do you mean? It's like... Okay, Rin paints and stuff, right? Yes. I'm not sure where this is going. Well, I run. And? And that's why we're similar. Because you only have one hobby. Or like one immense interest of having a hobby. I don't know how to phrase it. You lost me. Emi frowns, as if trying to figure out her answer. Well, maybe it's that we do things for the same reasons. Huh? You know, we follow our passions. So you're passionate about running and Rin's passionate about art, is that it? Well, sort of. Let me think. Well, Rin explained it to me once, but I don't know how much of it I followed. Not surprising. I think any explanation from Rin would probably confuse anyone. She says we both chase after an extreme. Like, she's always trying to find a new way to show a particular feeling or something. And I run because I get the feeling I get from it. And since we don't allow ourselves to be slowed down by anything, we make a connection based on that. That actually makes a lot of sense. What do you mean slowed down by anything? Emi looks surprised and points to her legs. You know, because I'm a runner, and Rin's a painter even without arms. So we respect each other's determination. And that's why we hang out. I think. I think. Well, I'm not so sure that made any sense to me, but from Emi's sheepish expression, she is not sure about it either. Honestly, it's not something I think about much. We just get along. I think that's really all that matters. I suppose she's got a point there. Another question strikes me, since I've got nothing better to do. I ask it. So, what got you into running anyway? Oh, I've been running since I was really little. My dad was a runner, and as soon as I could walk, he started teaching me on how to run. It was our father-daughter thing, you know? Our own mutual hobby. A shadow crosses her face, and I'm shocked to see her looking sad. Did something happen between them? Man, I don't have a lot of time left. Sorry, but I've got to get a few more laps in before I go see the nurse. She races off around the track, hair streaming in the wind. It seems to me that she's going a lot faster than she was this morning. As she rounds the track, I catch a glimpse of her face. It's much the same as it was this morning, but her eyes seem to have taken on a harder edge. I guess she is right. I don't really know much about her. I watch her run for a little while and then stand up to head back to my room. Hey! She spots me leaving and waves to catch my attention. Don't forget! Same time tomorrow morning, got it? Got it. I head back to my room. Homework beckons. And that's where we are going to leave this episode of Katawa Shoujo, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you did like this episode, please hit that subscribe button to be the first one to notice my videos when they are out. Click like to show your appreciation, or comment down below to give criticism. This was Negacious. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.